Hi, everyone. My name is Ambereen. I'm the president of Open Global. Welcome to this Open Global Giant Gupshup. Thank you so much for joining us at this, with very short notice, but I thought this is a pretty urgent call to action. Of course, that all of us know what is currently happening in Pakistan right now. We have a humanitarian crisis like no other, with 33 million people being affected by the floods and 1/3 of Pakistan underwater. And it is a tremendous honor and privilege to have one of our leading philanthropists and social entrepreneurs, Fiza Shah, with us. She is the CEO of DIL, which stands for Development in Literacy. And I think all of us know DIL as the champion of girls' education in Pakistan. They've created schools all over Pakistan for over the past 2 decades. But I want to quickly give the podium to Fiza to introduce DIL, to talk about DIL's good work, a brief intro on DIL, and of course to introduce herself. She has an impressive background herself, both as a business leader, a community leader, lives in Southern California, and she can talk also about what's happening post-floods. We also have Mohammed Shahzad on the call. All of you know him from the Open community. He's our president of Open SoCal, and also chairperson of DIL. So with that, Fiza, the song.
So much for the introduction. Where do I begin? I know the whole focus right now is on the floods. So I'm going to do a quick introduction on DIL. DIL has been working in Pakistan since 1997, so it's almost 25 years. We're, of course, working in the field of education. We started out by running schools, and since 2010, we've impacted almost 300,000 students through our direct schools and also through our training programs. So just to give you a quick kind of an understanding on what we do on the ground, we open schools. We train teachers. Since 2010, we've trained almost almost 20,000 teachers. We also do a lot of work in curriculum development. So first of all, we do curriculum in terms of the school curriculum, but also last year, after 2 years of COVID, we partnered with an organization called CERP, Center for Economic Research and for Pakistan, and we actually developed a curriculum for them, an accelerated curriculum, to target the losses in learning. Yes, so we did the remedial curriculum, and it is going to go to almost 1,000 schools in KPK. Apart from that, we've also partnered with with International Rescue Committee last year to again develop an accelerated curriculum for girls between the ages of 16 and 19 to get them ready for work. So DIL has beyond just running schools. I just wanted to give you an idea of the other stuff that we do. But our flagship program really is called TEAL, Technology Enabled Academic Learning, where we have integrated technology into our classrooms for the 6th, 7th, and the 8th grade. We are literally making short videos on every single concept that has to be taught, mandated by the government. And with it, we have lesson plans and assessments. This program has been taken across all DIL schools, but we've also introduced it into government schools with a lot of success. We started with FDE, Federal Directorate of Education. And when going into this program, we were extremely nervous because we were told that government teachers do not teach as well as or are not as motivated to teach as our own teachers, because we are seeing very good results in our schools. I was completely wrong in this thought. The programs have been embraced. We've had such good response from the government school teachers. I think it's really a matter of providing them the support by giving them the training, by giving them the materials. And I honestly believe that they will produce even better results than our own teachers. So DIL has been a real shift in our direction, because we feel that working with the government, we will see, we can take our dollar much further as well, because that's where the students are. It's much more sustainable for us because the government schools are there to stay. And I'm glad the ambassador is listening, because, I would love for you, when you're in Pakistan, to come and visit some of our schools or to visit the government schools to see the effectiveness of this program. Also, a shout out to NetSol. NetSol is and Najib, who helped us create the app for this program, because the app hosts the videos and also the assessments, and it has really helped us scale the program. Going back to Khairpur for the last 26 some years, and I go back twice a year. And I'm going to talk mainly about Khairpur because the floods have affected the entire, so many districts, so many areas of Pakistan. 1/3 of the country is underwater. But I can speak with confidence about what has happened in Khairpur because that's where we are present. I have developed such a love for Pakistan. Even now, as I speak, I can. I'm sorry for Khairpur because even now, as I speak, I can literally smell the land. I can the burnt smell in the air, the delicious fruits of Khairpur, the mangoes, the variety of fish. I mean, I have such an affiliation, such a love for this area. We have 30 schools in Khairpur. Every single school has been damaged by the floods. I have been talking to our communities and our community leaders on a regular basis. No matter what we do, it's not enough. Right now, we're not even thinking about rebuilding the schools because some of them are absolutely not accessible. We have schools across Khairpur. So Faizganj, the outskirts of Khairpur, we have schools there as well. We cannot reach those people and we cannot reach those schools yet. We're waiting for the waters to come down before we can really figure out the damage to the schools, the damage to the communities, their homes. This is such a colossal disaster. It is just much worse than what we saw in 2010, much worse than that. Most of the communities have moved. They have either moved, gone to families' homes where, many I'm hearing are moving up to Hyderabad. Others have just come on the road. People who have cattle, they just, whatever they can salvage, that's all they own. That's all they own. So they've taken that, gone by the roadside, waiting for help. I hear that, as many as can get out have tried to get out, but then again, families, some people have stayed back. Some people, because that is their land, that is what they own, that is what they need to survive. So having boots on the ground, what we did, we moved very quickly. We have already provided rations to 350 families, almost 400 families, I think, yesterday's count. We are planning to provide rations to another 1,400 in the next few days, because, as I said, because we know the people there, it has been easier for us. We also have the confidence that we are providing the rations to the right people because we know the communities. The first thing we did was we went in and kind of figured out where our students and their families, where they were, what their needs were, because in these circumstances, sometimes what we wanted to avoid was what happens is people will come again and again to take food and stuff, and then they sell it in the market. We have been very careful to make sure that the most needy are the ones who get the rations. We are now looking at mosquito nets because malaria is rampant in this area. We are also looking at tarpals and things so that they have some kind of cover. But of course, we are dependent on the funds that we raise, so any support is welcome. And as I said, we move very quickly because we were on the ground. We had people on the ground. We managed to get things from Sakhar very quickly, get them into Khairpur, get the distribution started. There's other work going on too, but at least in our communities, we were the first ones who, what I'm being told is nobody has really been able to reach much of the people yet. So thank God we were there to help support our people. But again, it's whatever we do is just a drop in the ocean. But we have to also think about the schools. We haven't even gone there yet. I mean, the construction of the schools, because these kids will need the schools. They need to come back to these schools. They need some normalcy in their lives. The results I just wanted to also mention how fabulously well our schools were doing. Our metric results came out just a few weeks ago. Almost every child got an A. There were, I think, only 2 Bs or 2 or 3 Bs. I mean, those are the scores that our kids are getting. And to imagine that their schools are completely destroyed. There's water up to 2-3 feet. In some schools, the water was up to 8 feet. The furniture has been damaged. We've provided a lot of electronic stuff in these schools, and some of them has been salvaged. The teachers were telling us the first thing they did was they went for the more expensive items. So they tried to at least get the electronic items out of the schools. But everything happened so rapidly. They had to think of their own lives above everything else. But that's the situation. It is, we have to rebuild. We have to rebuild these schools. We have to rebuild the lives, and it's going to take some time, but we're on it. The people that are in Pakistan, of course, they can do so much more, because I know that a lot of people are actually going into these areas with materials, with supplies and so on. But I think it is where they could really help them is making them understand how to build their homes, where to build their homes. Technology has gone such a long way. A lot of this is indigenous construction. Even with that, how can they build their homes in a way that so much water damage does not happen? So entrepreneurs, this is where I think they can really help Pakistan, where they can step in and come up with alternatives, direction, give direction to the government, anyone who is in construction. I mean, there's so much that you can do at this point, but really rebuilding the country, rebuilding these areas is, I feel that's the need of the day, because there has been so much destruction. It has to be rebuilt. Let's rebuild them the right way now. Apart from that, I think in terms of food and supplies, again, if you have contacts, I think try and get as much as you can to Pakistan. The food shortage is horrible. I mean, right now we're providing enough food for one month. Yeah, we feel that this is going to go beyond 1 month. What happens the next month and the next month? The funding is urgently needed right now. So again, appealing to people to just give and do whatever they can.
Before Ms. Fiza responds,
Okay.
can I make 2 appeals? In fact, I was supposed to add them towards the end of my conversation with you. 2 appeals. My appeal to all the entrepreneurs who are present here today, professionals who are present here. If you have the capacity, or if your organization has the capacity, please sponsor a school in Pakistan for post-flood reconstruction. The second thing is that because you're influential people, and your ambit here is much larger than, let's say, what we can do from Pakistan. My second request is that those institutions which are specializing in educational matters here, and they contribute to education, promotion of education abroad, if you could persuade them to focus on reconstruction of schools and investment in education in Pakistan, that would be very helpful. Post-flood, I mean, as we reconstruct our schools and colleges. Thank you.
Said what I wanted to say. That was just perfect. We need to rebuild these schools. We need to bring some normalcy into our students' lives after post-flood. But at the same time, we have tried out a couple of programs. One was a mentorship program where we had connected somebody in the US, these were mainly students at that time, with students in Pakistan who were guiding them as to what direction they should take their education, even telling them about what various opportunities are available to them. It had a major impact on these students. I saw such a turn in their personalities and who they became. One of them ended up going to NED University, another one went to medical school. So you would think this is something small, but it is huge. Just that feeling that somebody cares, that somebody will take the time to give you even a few minutes in a week of their day to help guide you, to direct you in the, where you should be going, where you have many opportunities. So I would love to set up something like that with Open. Now our kids are now going into work. I mean, they're joining, they're starting their careers. So even guiding them, so that would be one area. The other area is internships. If your company needs, can kind of work with interns in Pakistan, especially IT, because we have so many engineers in places like Khairpur. These are young women. There are not that many job opportunities. They're brilliant girls. Majority of them end up going to teach. So this is some stuff that they can do from the home. So even that, I mean, there's so much more we can open up. These kids open the world to them, because now with technology they can be sitting in their homes and working. I mean, COVID showed us how many of us have stopped going to office. We are working just as effectively at home. So look at the number of opportunities you can open for these students, these young, bright, brilliant students who don't have the family support to find them the right jobs, who don't really have the ability to reach out to international companies and so on. So I mean, if we do this together, we can really make a difference. I really believe that. But we need to come up with let's build a solid program around this, because this, as I said, can really open the world to our students, especially in the remote rural areas of Pakistan. Social media, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we have a website, we're constantly posting. There's a lot of information around the floods. We send out appeals. We do everything possible, obviously, to inform people about our work and our organization, especially at this time. We need all the support we can get. We are there, we're doing the work, we're able to do it well. So please believe in us and please support us.
I'm happy to chime in a little bit.
Sure.
I think I get the gist of the question a little bit. So look, around education, I'll speak a little bit Pakistan, but also Dil, right? Education, there's something like 130 million children out of school across the globe. 70% of them are estimated to be girls. 40% of the girls in developing countries marry before the age of 18. So and half of whom become mothers before the age of 18. And oddly enough, pregnancy is actually the leading cause of death among girls 15 to 19 worldwide. Most of these girls didn't receive an education. So on the question of, how do we sell the message? I think the angle for girls, women empowerment, certainly the importance of Pakistan geopolitically, and that hasn't been used, appropriately by many parts of the world over our long history. But I think it's that message around, look, education is an intergenerational change that we're trying to make. Of course, there's floods, there's going to be relief efforts. We need to do that. But if we really want the country to move out of the cycles of poverty, we're going to have to do something that fundamentally change via education, right? When a girl receives 7 or more years of education, she's marrying 4+ years later. She's having 2.5 less kids on average. Just 1 more year of education in secondary school is boosting a woman's wage by over 25%. These are all World Bank statistics. So clearly, this is the power of education that may take a little bit longer, but in order to come out of the socioeconomic and some of these health outcomes, that's what we're going to have to do. Really, and ultimately, a woman that's educated is 5 times more likely to send her own child to school. So you can really see the impact that this drives. The other thing I'll say, for us to think about, and the ambassador was talking about this, the impact of children that we have seen already. I was reading yesterday, something like 1/3 of fatalities is actually children under the age of 10 or 12, given some of the waterborne illnesses that they're seeing, or all of our hospitals, or a lot of hospitals are in shambles. And so as we come out of this, unfortunately, we'll continue to see an outsized impact to children, and returning to normalcy through schools, seeing some of their friends, like that's going to be super important. And I do think healthcare, mental health, all of these things are going to become issues for this generation of kids. They've already gone through the last couple of years in COVID. And so there is a lot for us to do. I know that it was a little bit longer answer to that question on the brand and how we sell the issues. I think it's for us, for Dil at least, has been a lens to education, which happens to be a global problem. And in Pakistan, especially with the age group that the ambassador mentioned as well, we have such a young population that it's super important that we focus our resources to drive us out of here. So
thank you, everyone. Thanks so much for attending. Thank you for your attention. And, I really appreciate the enthusiasm, the energy, and the generosity, both in funds, resources, time, ideas, spirit. I mean, everything counts, right? So thanks, everyone.